welcome to the Comedians Paradise. This is the podcast where we speak to comedians, comedy producers, and mavericks of the comedy world. Now, today's guest is related to Lebron James.
Yes.
His name is Carl Legacy. He broke the Edinburgh Fringe record, and he is a traveller of many different fringes, which are all better than the money-making con and what's it called? Money loitering scheme that is the Edinburgh Fringe.
Yes.
Please
What a
welcome
fucking
Carl
intro.
Legacy.
Thank you for that, lad. I appreciate it. I'm wearing the wrong jersey. My cousin LeBron would be upset. Where are we? I've got it here. It's fine. It's right here. It's right here.
Is that the
I'm
new?
related to the whole NBA.
Of course.
At this point.
Is that
But ring a
the?
ding ding, you've got the king. Thanks for having me, lad. How are you?
Very well, and I'm going to offend you a lot as a big fan of basketball, but is that related to in any way the Harlem Shakers, the shirt that you're wearing? The skillful basketball? No, is that?
I mean, Harlem is in New York, yes, but this is the New York Knicks jersey. They lost the other night, so I'm just putting it on out of
Oh,
respect because they lost and I bombed, so we're both going through it together.
but as who are your team like? So your favorite football team is Liverpool, but like, what's your NBA team?
So my favorite, obviously, the team is Liverpool. You know what I mean, diehard red. But my favorite NBA team is the Lakers because I'm a big LeBron James fan. So I follow. I'm a bit of a. I'm not a glory hound because he hasn't always won, but I guess I'm a bit of a fucking stalker, a bit of a bum boy for him because I when I got into basketball playing like organized was like 2002, 2003. That's when LeBron got into the league. So I was with him for 7 years in Cleveland, Miami 4 years, back in Cleveland for 4 years, and now I've been a Lakers fan for 8 years.
I don't
So
know. He's incredible though, isn't he? Like he's like 30, 40 odd, and he's still playing at the top of basketball.
he's about to go into year 23. That's like unheard of. That's the record. He was 40 years old last year, and he was in the second. He made the second All NBA team. So that means he's still top 10 in the league at the age of 40. 22 years later, the man's aging like a fine wine, like he's father time. It's ridiculous.
I don't know that much about basketball. All I know is like I know that Kobe does a lot of his things about Black Mamba. I know about like Michael Jordan through the Last Dance, like hearing him being a bit of a psychopath, and Kobe Bryant
Yeah.
sort of were following that. And I mean, I heard that Kobe Bryant got a lot of the top because he mastered the basics, a bit like Roger Gracie in jiu-jitsu. He was so good at the basics, like everyone knew what he was
Yeah.
doing, but he was so good at them, you couldn't really prepare for it. What's
Oh,
LeBron
that's. I
James?
mean,
What's his, I don't know anything about him, so apart from him being the best basketball player of all time, apart from Michael
well,
Jordan.
this is going to be how long have you got? This is going to be the longest podcast of your life. Lucky for you, I've got a PowerPoint presentation prepared. Q slide one. But no, yeah, Kobe. I mean, all the greats are great with fundamentals. You know what I mean? Like even like if you think about football, like Ronaldo and Messi, their fundamentals are like key. You know what I mean? But it's for Kobe and LeBron and Michael. What pushed them aside was their work ethic. So obviously they were like, you know what I mean? They constantly wanted to win. That was the whole thing, and it was their work ethic off the court. So like you see Kobe doing all his things, LeBron on the court, but you don't see the fucking them waking up at 4 a.m. every day, being the first in the gym, being the last to leave, all that sort of stuff. And to hold that, like Kobe played for 20 years, to hold that like consistently for 20 years is like insane. You know what I mean? So he had like all his footwork was down perfect. Kobe and Michael had an unblockable fucking turnaround jumper because of their great footwork. And LeBron, quite frankly, he can just do it all. He's already the leading scorer of all time, and he's like a pass first player almost. He's got to be top 10 rebounds, top five assists. Like he's an overall player. You know what I mean?
In the records. Like Novak Djokovic is the best tennis player of all time when records are done compared to anyone else.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And then you know what I mean? Michael, you can compare Kobe to Michael. He's like a mirror image sort of thing. You know what I mean? The way they play, the mentality, and all that. LeBron, there's nobody quite like him. Like he does it all, really. Like you could say Magic Johnson, but I mean LeBron's a better rebounder, a better scorer.
Okay. Hmm. Interesting. No, I don't know anything about it, so it was interesting to hear. I did remember enjoying playing basketball at school, but I never quite got into it. I've lots of basketball films. Like Coach Carter was a great
Yeah.
film. I
Oh
love
my
what he
god.
did. That speech as
I would
well.
like
Yeah, amazing.
epic. We were talking about this the other day. Like literally, we were talking about on a podcast. Like if you could base a movie around your life, like but have it comedy, what would it be? And I'd be like, oh, Coach Carter for sure. Like I want him fucking yelling at me for like missing punchlines instead of missing layups. It'd be sick.
There was some things that were like quite well weren't quite accurate were because the guy talked the real life talked with a lispy voice, and all the kids were actually well behaved. Like they weren't like as you saw in the film. They were actually quite well, like they were nice. They were in a dodgy area, and all, that was true. But the kids themselves were actually weren't naughty.
And what the fuck? Yeah, they're in gentrified talk stuff. It sounds like what the fuck?
That's
What
what I
talk stuff is now? I don't know that actually. I know it was based on a true story because, like, I mean, at the end of every sports movie, the best bit is at the end where they do the montage. Like, where are they now? You know what I mean? He got a full ride scholarship. He's in prison, all that sort of stuff. So, like, I know the stuff about the players is true, but I guess, yeah, probably they added more gunshots and violence to make it a better movie. You know what I mean?
But I think that was what they do, like they do in sitcoms, like the what's it called? What's the name of the one with Sophie Vergara and that old man that's come? She's a mad, sexy Latino that
Oh, Modern Family.
yeah, yeah. So they did it
Yeah,
with all the couples. They made them opposites to get the conflict. If they're all too
yeah, yeah, yeah.
similar, and I think that's what they did with obviously Coach Carter. They wanted to create some sort of to make it more compelling.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I love that. That's so funny. You compare it, Modern Family to Coach Carter. That is the whitest thing I've ever heard in my entire
Well, I am Asian, so that half of it's true. Like my dad being white, but my mum being Chinese, but technically they moved to Thailand. So I'm a bit.
life. Okay.
I've got a confusion there. I prefer Thais a lot more than Chinese because Thais are friendly and have a good sense of humor. I had a fellow
Yeah.
Chinese man try and scare me and intimidate and beat me up when I couldn't walk. So that no, I'm joking.
What the fuck?
Oh, I went to a theatre school in Italy with a couple of people from that sort of environment, and I had more issues from
Uh,
my own people than I did from anyone else.
that's so funny. That's what people say. Like white people are racist to Asians. It's like Asians are the most racist to each other. It's out of control.
Oh, there was definitely a bit of like my mum doesn't like the Cambodians or Filipinos, but there's a bit of yeah. I think it's like with all races, like the English don't like the French, and Lee
Yeah,
Mack
exactly.
does the joke about the whole of the UK not liking England, but I'm not going to say it because it's a joke theft on the
Yeah.
podcast. But
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, you could say it if you could if you like it's his joke. You know what I mean?
oh yes, yes, copyright the Harvard law of referencing.
Exactly. I love that you were like, my mum's. Oh yeah, my mum's kind of racist. She only hates Cambodians, Japanese, Thai people, Chinese. Just listing off every Asian country.
And it did,
She likes Nepal, does she? That's good.
but I think there is a bit of
Uh,
that in there. And like Liverpool's got a bit of rivalry with Manchester, where I heard that that started ages ago, like with the ports, and it's got worse with the football.
yeah, it started. I mean, I only know as football growing up. You know what I mean? Like, it's for me, it's the teams. Like we hate. It's Manchester United. I mean, because our derby is with Everton, but they're also Scousers. You know what I mean? So our real derby, I think, is Man U. Like we hate them the most. We started hating Man City the last 10 years, obviously, but their fucking downfall's happening now, which I love. So it stems from football. But even then, I do a lot of gigs in Manchester. You know what I mean? It's right. It's real close. Like I run a weekly Wednesday show at Creatures Comedy Club, where we pull out topics and we just riff off it, Riff City. And like I get a little bit when I go on stage, but it's not like just getting heckled. I mean, Manx are fucking pussies anyway. So it's like,
Oh,
and the
really?
same, and the same as if Manx come to hot water, if they're funny, then they get laughs. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's not like I guess you're off the back foot a little bit, but I mean, even people in Manchester still like Scousers. Like,
Is it more the yeah? It's only when the football's involved. It's a light. but outside of it, there's not as much of an issue, is there, between Liverpool and Monkeys, or is there? I don't know.
Nah, not really. Like, I mean, I've never been jumped or battered on a night out in Manchester. Like, I've had more fights in Liverpool, so I'd say like it's chill.
That's interesting to hear because I went to Anfield and some of the people that are working there said that the Liverpool and Everton match is a lot more fierce than the Mancunian match.
Well, I mean, the fucking with the Manx, like they're getting bussed in, so we don't even see them. There's no element of banter and stuff like that. But with the Everton fans, like you know what I mean, you're seeing them before and after the game. Like some of them are your mates, some of them maybe you've got family that are Everton fans, so there's a lot more banter going on. Like Everton fans are bitter as fuck. They call us copites and we call them bitter blues. You know what I mean? But like we don't really see them as a threat because they haven't won anything. So like it's been like there's more beef in terms of like the standings in football. There's more beef between like Man City and Man U because they've been better.
Yeah, okay. Okay. But I heard this as well from Don Biswas. He tells me that both Liverpool and Man United fans have a lot of fans from London. Is that
Oh, I mean, like fucking Liverpool is a worldwide club now. Like when I went to the last game of the season on Sunday, we were all going nuts in the parade. Like I had a bunch of American mates coming over. I had like Australian mates, like with like fucking Coca Cola. We're like Pepsi, you know what I mean? We're like worldwide clubs, so we got fans all over the world. But I mean, like that's what Everton always says. Everton says, "Oh, all their fans are Scousers, and all our fans are like half Scouse, half somewhere else." But that's only because we're a fucking bigger club. It's not my fault they don't have fans outside the fucking M4.
yeah,
Fucking the little bitter rat.
yeah, but it's any player that you would want to get from Everton in Liverpool.
Right now, probably like fucking Beto or something because it does my head in. He does LeBron's celebration when he scores. He does the fucking calm down. So that does my head in the guns. So I want him just so he stops doing that fucking celebration.
But speaking of like all the things in the north, and I've heard this, like two questions on this, like how did you get into comedy? And two, what is making the Northwest such a vibrant comedy scene? Because it is in terms of like if you want to make money in comedy and if you want to get a lot of
Yeah,
good gigs in comedy, the Northwest, and I hear also the Midlands and perhaps Scotland is the place to be.
yeah. Oh, you're damn right. So it's like I don't even look like most people in the north. We don't look to the south for gigs in London. We look at the north. You know what I mean? I go to Scotland more than I go fucking south. Like Scotland's the best. You know what I mean? Especially Ouija's. Ouija's are just fucking scousers. We're really. You know what I mean? Like we're the same. It's like we're friendly people, but it's a rough city. And like, I think we just laugh better in the north. You know what I mean? We're not like fucking as woke as London. Like nobody really gets offended down here anymore. We still love crowd work. You try crowd work in London, it's like, oh, I've got fucking anxiety. I'm fucking autistic or whatever. It's like back in the north, we're just dumb. What happened to just being dumb? You know what I mean? Everybody's got a fucking illness now. The depressed, the fucking all this sort of stuff. I asked my granddad about depression years ago. He said, I've been depressed for 60 years, lad. You just fucking get on with it. He was like, have you met your nan? Of course, I'm fucking depressed for 60 years. And so, like, we're just old school dumb here. Like, I have a joke where, like, every day I wake up, my friends say I'm too dumb to be sad. Every day I wake up, I look out the window, it's a beautiful day. I lick the window, I go back to bed. You know what I mean? Rinse and repeat. So it's like, it's, I think we're a bit more happy go lucky here. Like in London, people don't even speak to you. You know what I mean? You're on the train, everybody's fucking looking down and shit like that. Not that I want to fucking speak to people on the bus, but I'm saying there's an option of it in Liverpool. Like,
it's it's just a but it's a big issue in a lot of big cities, isn't it? That's like the big city mindset to be I'm gonna focus on my work, my phone, and anyone else can fuck off. But what makes would you say so people are too sensitive down south, but also how is it that I, that this people get paid so much better up north and the gigs are like in terms of audience and quality seem to be better up. I mean there's some great clubs down south as well in London, but for the most part, people tell me
I mean,
so many great things about it.
for me, there's top secret down south, and that's about it, really, to be honest. Like, the comedy store I don't do. We've lost the comedy store in Manchester now, but I reckon it's the surgence of Hot Water Comedy Club. Obviously, that's just like a mecca for comedy now. It's a 500 seater, a 250, a 150, and a 40 seater, all under the same roof, like food courts. So they're changing the game. You know what I mean? Like in terms of like how you can run a comedy club, how you can make it massive and all that, and how you can fill the room, sell tickets, do different type of shows. Then on the other hand, there's Creatures Comedy Club in Manchester, which my best friend Evan Demaray runs, and he's like 7 nights a week. It's not in one night now. It's seven, and that's like the cool, you know what I mean? The cool club, like the Frog and Buckets, like the book like shit, like I mean, they book good acts or whatever, but they're like woke as shit, I guess, or whatever the fuck. And their stage is like too fucking high. It's like the worst built comedy club. So I think Creatures is like it's obviously cheaper, you know what I mean? It's we get the cooler acts and stuff like that. The hangs are better and all that. So with those two clubs, that's definitely helped me in the north. And I think like other comics are are figuring it out. You're like, oh, we don't have to fucking send emails and all that and do all this gay shit and send videos. You can just be funny, message somebody and they'll vouch for you and you'll get on. Like the old school way. That's how it is. Like in London, everybody's worried about fucking followers and all that and setting up a camera. Like before they go on, it's like I didn't get into comedy for this. I came in to be on stage and make people laugh. You know what I mean? So I think we're more still focused on the art of like actually making people laugh. And everybody in London's trying to get a clip that'll hopefully go viral. That'll hopefully get them on TV. Like in the north, we're like just working comics. You know what I mean? We're club comics. We're not like I mean we're getting to theatres and arenas now because of Paul Smith's opened the doors for us all. But um, we're still club comics at the end of the day.
But what do you think would need to happen down south for it to get more like that in terms of it being the art instead of, as you said, they're
I guess,
getting on
I guess,
TV?
I guess people like us starting our own clubs and stuff. You know what I mean? Like there is. I've got some mates down there. That is Davies, Ollie Horn. They run some good shows and that where it's just like they book good comics and then we just fucking have good shows. They pay decent enough. But I don't know how you do it. I think London's gone too far fucking left or whatever the fuck at the moment. You got to wait till it swings back around maybe. But I mean, I don't know. Funny's funny, I reckon, to be honest. I've never really had a hard time when I got out to London. It's good for me because nobody really does crowd work. And if they do, it's shit compared to mine. So I'm laughing.
Oh, so what do you, what's your what's your thought? And apart from sounding obvious and sounding silly, but what would you say is crowd work that people think is good, but is actually shit? But what would you say is really good crowd work, like that isn't obvious?
Like a person as an example, you mean, or just what?
Yeah. Yeah. That you see that's shit, and what's an example of like crowd work that you've seen where, oh, that's really good, that's inventive, that's more than just a cheap.
Oh, I mean, you've seen the standard crowd work, the fucking all the hack lines and stuff, which we all use. You know what I mean? Like the taxi, if somebody drops a drink, all that sort of stuff. Looks like if it's half full, it looks like a game of Guess Who. Nobody's finished. Everybody's got the stock lines. You know what I mean? But I don't know. I guess we just take more risks and stuff like that. Like we're not worried about some girl with blue hair fucking yelling at us. You know what I mean? Like if she arcs up, then the comedy club will just kick her out. So you're not enjoying it. All right, see you later, love. Um, like they don't really like the audience doesn't have the power. I guess the London has or whatever. You know what I mean? Like no fucking media's gonna pick up some fucking shit in Liverpool. We got bigger fish to fry. You know what I mean? We had that guy fucking Andrew Lawrence, that fucking little rat, the little fucking ginger piece of shit, talking shit about the parade in Hillsborough the other day and all that. He can get fucked. I never even met him, but if I see him, obviously I'm slapping the shit out of him. So like we report stuff where it's actually fucking people are saying the wrong things and that. Like crowd work, like yesterday, you did a comedy show, you can't be offended. Like yesterday, my friend, he's a Canadian guy, brought me up on stage, and I said, "Give it up for Evan. He's so fucking nice. Like Canadians are so nice. He probably says sorry after a rape. You know what I mean?" And that fucking like that was the first thing I said. It killed, and like even people that didn't mean to laugh, were like, and then caught themselves laughing. You know what I mean? And then I was like, "It's fucking hell, okay. It's all right to laugh. He's not really a rapist. He's ugly as shit, or whatever the fuck." Um, so like, yeah, I guess we just maybe we got the balls to say stuff more here, but fuck knows. What do I know?
Yeah, I mean, what Andrew Lawrence said there, it's not really. Yeah, we support. I don't want to go after comic or like tear him down or say you can't say this or that, but it's just what he said. It's just clearly just being an arsehole. What he said there about
Well,
is
he's not even
being
a
a dickhead.
comedian. Apparently, like Twitter pays him. to get like to get high rated tweets. So like all his tweets are just horrendous stuff, but he's doing it on purpose so he gets like the people sharing it, the hate and all that, because that's how he makes money. So
He, well, I spoke to Eddie Brimson on the podcast last week, and he told me that
he's a
before
fucking
he got in
legend.
down this, he told me he's a great guy. So many stories when I chatted to him as well, brilliant. But he told me that um, before he did all of this, he was a fantastic comic, but then he went down this rabbit hole, and now he is what he is now.
Yeah, see, that's what I heard. I heard he got like nominated for Edinburgh like twice. You know what I mean? It's like, but he just made his choice, and I guess maybe he didn't like the stand-up element. Maybe this is just easier money for him or whatever. He's punching down, really. I mean, I'm saying that specifically because, like, I'm a Liverpool fan. You know what I mean? You can do jokes about anything else. I don't give a shit. Just don't talk about fucking Hillsborough.
What would you say is the so? What's an example of you say that you've seen with another comic where they've just said something that it does push the boundary, but people have completely taken it out of context and try to paint them as this and that? Because I do see that quite a fair amount, like in jobs or work. Like I remember a lady who was of a certain group tried to say that I was being offensive because I didn't let her in when
Yeah,
it was under the rules not to let a certain amount of people in, but she was able to use that to try and get in, and it worked. But there's a lot of that, yeah, a lot of that in London where people will twist the narrative to serve their purpose.
yeah. That's. I mean, people know how to do it now. They play the game. They're like, oh, you can't bring dogs in here. Oh, it's my support dog. Sure, whatever. You know what I mean? It's like you can't say no anymore because people have got fucking so many other legs to stand on. Oh, you can't do this. I'm depressed. I've got anxiety. And it's like, well, why the fuck did you leave the house and come to a comedy club if you're going to be scared and sad? You fucking loser. Just stay at home.
So you're saying all that stuff about like people getting offended, like Edinburgh Fringe, and this is something that a comic who I've had on the podcast, like Dave Bibby, he says that the Edinburgh Fringe has become a bit like the London circuit, but they take it for a month. And he says that one of the things is the Edinburgh Fringe going to get a bit more work because it's getting so expensive, and in terms of it's going to limit the audience and the type of comedians that can play it. Are you done the Edinburgh Fringe loads? Have you noticed the change in a
I
worrying
mean, I've done
direction?
it 8 times and I do the free fringe. So, like, I get like actual my audience, like working class, middle class people and stuff like that. And I've been going for 8 years. So, my shows have sold out for the last 6 years. So, like, I'm not worried anymore, really, now. Like, I've had people come up to me and being like, "Oh, that wasn't that funny." I'm like, "Okay, I'm offended. Okay, good for you. See you later." You know what I mean? Like, I'm not famous. You can't cancel me. I'm doing a free show. If you don't want to pay at the end, then you don't pay. You know what I mean? It's simple as that. So, like, the downfall of the paid fringe with the shit acts and it's too expensive, less people coming, people can't afford to buy tickets is that's helped the free fringe. Like it's been amazing. You know what I mean? Like when the paid fringe gets worse, like the free fringe is great because I'm not there like for the TV. Like I'm there just to make money. Like I make a shitload there, like a proper cash grab. You know what I mean? So like, and people like when they go there and they don't when they lose money, it's like yeah, the first few years you will. You got to pay your dues. That's when you're better getting better as a comic anyway. You know what I mean? So you're just happy for the stage time. And if you're like 11 years in and you're still losing money, then you're just a fucking idiot. You know what I mean? Like some people just don't have the gift of the gab or the hustle in them. You know what I mean? They're like a trust fund baby or whatever the fuck. So, like, there's money to be made. It's cash. It's cash and card reader. Like, there's money to be fucking made. Don't you worry about that.
And speaking about the hustle culture, how did you manage to do 239 gigs in like 1 year? That in like 1 month? Bloody hell, that's incredible.
I done
Whoa.
230. I done 230 in 24 days because the festival goes for 25 days. But I took a day off to go back to Liverpool for a wedding, done a speech. I didn't even count that because it wasn't in Edinburgh. Um, I just done it like I found out like 3 nights before we got there and we were doing the posters and I was like, I wonder what the record is. And somebody told me it was Marty Moore with like 215. So I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. I was asking around. I was like, I could beat that. And my friend was like, no, you can't. And I was like, well, now I'm going to do it out of spite. So then I just started messaging everybody I know. I was calling in all the favors. Like people were letting me open for them just for like 7 to 10 minutes. People were just getting me on every show. So like once people found out about it, I was trying to break the record, people would help me do it. Like I'd be walking down running down the street to another gig. People were like, "What number are you on?" And I'll be like, 176 and then just fucking keep running. You know what I mean? So like that helped. I got to nobody really knew me before that, and that like now everybody knows me in Edinburgh. So
Th- And what did you gain from it as a whole? Like, just what would you say from doing that experience? How did that change you as a comic?
oh, I mean, I've done a year's worth of stage time in 1 month. You know what I mean? Like I always preach stage time is king. Like you can write your fucking gay little fucking jokes and do all that sort of stuff. But I mean, stage time is king. You got to do 50,000 hours of anything to get good at it. Like I used to play basketball, I still do. So I just took that mentality of basketball and then just done it instead of like shooting hoops. Now I'm fucking shooting riffs or whatever the fuck. You know what I mean? Like the more you do something, the more comfortable you are, the more confident you are with it, the more like tricks of the trades you pick up. And then like I like being on stage more than I like being on stage. I like being on stage more than I like being off stage sometimes. You know what I mean? So it's like my happy place, I guess. So I preach that stage time is the best. And then obviously I met so many people just through networking, like doing so many gigs. You're just meeting everybody else on the lineup, plus the promoters, all that sort of stuff.
With doing that record and like being on, how does that help in terms of like the Australian fringes and fringes across the globe? Because I've heard this right from a lot of people that the American fringes are really good and they're a lot better than the fringes, the Edinburgh fringe. And I heard that Australian fringes were absolutely amazing at one point.
Oh yeah, I mean the Perth fringe world. It's not a fringe; it's a fringe world, but it's the same thing. It's just their legality. That's probably that and Edinburgh are my favorite festivals because Perth, I run my own venue there, so I make good money. Plus, it's fucking paradise. I'm gigging in shorts and jerseys every day. It's fucking 35 degrees. It's sick. Um, so you can make good money there, but you'd have to have sellable products. Like everything I've done, you know what I mean? I've been doing it for years now, so it's trial and error. I bring back the same shows that sell. I cut the new ideas that don't. Um, and then obviously, if you run your own venue, then you don't have to pay venue hire. So that's simple maths. They take the bar, we take the tickets, easy. And then Adelaide, I don't go to the Adelaide Fringe. I heard it's good, but it's like good for partying. But like I went there once and I didn't make any money. Plus, I didn't get any pussy and it's got laid in the name, so that's fucking false advertising. Like I don't go back to a city if I don't get laid there. So yeah,
Oh, okay.
and yeah, that's just the general rule. That's so Adelaide I don't go back to. Exmouth I don't go back to. Just some random ass places. Where else? Middlesbrough. I won't go back there mainly because they hated me and I hated them. So I don't go to Adelaide. And then I do Melbourne Comedy Festival, which is the biggest comedy festival in the world. Because obviously Edinburgh's a fringe just for laughs. It's like an invite only sort of thing. So Melbourne's the biggest comedy festival in the world. But I don't do my own shows there. I just host other people's shows, do all the British stuff, host the big comedy club there, the Comics Lounge and Basement. And that's just a cash grab for me. You know what I mean?
Okay, lovely, lovely, Johnny. Yeah, nice.
And you're in fucking Australia, so it's paradise. Like 4 months of the year, I'm in Australia. You know what I mean? I'm living the dream.
I've heard this from what's his name, Gareth Berliner. He says that if you're bombing in Australia for like in the 10-minute set for 9 minutes, but if you do well in a 1 minute, they'll love you. Whilst in the UK, they're less forgiving.
Oh yeah, Australia's easy. Like when I first started going, I used to tell people, "Oh, don't come here, it's shit." Now, call me friends. I want my friends to come with me now. You know what I mean? I was trying to keep it for myself, but like, yeah, especially if you got an accent, like they love like Perth is like Little Britain. Everybody's English, but the weather's good. So like, I get on stage and like people are heckling me, like, "Where's my hubcaps?" It's like you haven't been in England since the fucking 80s. You know what I mean? Shut the fuck up. So they're outdated references, but they love it. You know what I mean? Like I'm an exotic little fruit there. Back home, I'm just a scouser. There, I'm like a scouser abroad, I guess.
But I mean, they technically are Cockney criminals. There are Cockney criminal reserves.
Yeah, exactly. Like comedy has only been going for like 40 years in that country, live comedy. You know what I mean? It's like you can still like in England, you can't fall for the old tricks and stuff. They're more of a comedy savvy audience, which is better. You know what I mean? If you're doing highbrow comedy and stuff. But in Australia, yeah, it's like Australians are easy to make laugh. They're too happy. They're too laid back anyway.
I've heard is that I heard that they're more easygoing, but they're less offended. But I heard that in Melbourne that it's getting a bit more woke. Is that true?
Oh, Melbourne is like, yeah. Well, this year for us, like, normally I go from Perth, where you can still say retard and faggot on stage. Not that I say them anyway, but I'm saying like that's what you can do. And then you go to Melbourne, you can't say nothing. But I think funny's funny, really. To be honest, if you're funny enough, you can make people laugh. Like, I mean, for example, this year I got fired off a pub crawl because I got a record level of complaints, whatever the fuck that means. There was like they brought me out from I was in America at the fucking mothership in Austin, Texas, doing whatever the fuck I wanted there. Fucking retard faggot saying everything. Like you know what I mean? Like it's fucking Texas. They don't give a shit. Then I went straight to Melbourne and I got a bit woke and I guess I didn't gauge it properly. I was still jet lagged. And but I still think I'm in the right here. I literally it was hosting this pub crawl, so I host it, and you take them to four different stops, and there's a different comedian in each venue. So you do like 10, 10, 10, and then the comedian does 20. So you're with them for like 3.5 hours, and they're just getting drunk and drunk as they go along. Obviously, some of them have rocked up bevied already. So I go on to I open the show like the first one there. I was meant to be doing six of them, like two every weekend. They gave me a comment, they paid me and all that. This was the first one. I only lasted fucking one of them. Some guy comes in with a beer. He's late, and he's like, "Do you want some beer?" And I'm like, "Nah, I'm all right, lad." And he had a Stella. I said, "I don't drink white beer." And then I was like, because that's what we call it. And then I was like, "Oh no, I'm only messing. He doesn't beat his wife. He's clearly gay. Whatever, whatever." Then riffing some more crowd work. Like 7 minutes later, some woman out of the shadows, because I couldn't see the crowd. It was all dark. She goes, "Don't be making jokes about beating women." And I was like, I didn't know what she was on about. I was like, what are you on about? Like, it took me like a minute. I was like, oh no, Stella, that's just what we call a drink back home, the wife beater, the same as what they call singlets in Australia or whatever. And I was like, oh no, that's what we call it, whatever, whatever. So then we do the rest of the crawl. It's sound like I'm making jokes, being like, oh, hopefully I don't crowd work this woman by accident. All that. It's going well. Then on the last stop, these fucking birds must have been like bevied up. They had like they had been drinking for 3 hours. They got a bit of Dutch courage now, and they all sat in the front row and they're just fucking going at me like you're not funny, you're not funny, you fucking beat women, all that sort of stuff. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? Like it was 3 hours earlier. I made that one joke about Stella, just calling her a wife beater. So I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, all right, whatever. I'm roasting them, getting the crowd to boo them, saying you can leave if you want, doing all the tricks. You know what I mean? To do for you to leave. So I bring George Zach on. He does 20 minutes. It's all right. The mic's fucked, but it's all right. And then I go back on stage and they're just still going me. And I'm like, I'm a comedian, but I'm still a man at the end of the day. And like, so I was like, all right. I put the mic down on the chair. I was like, my job's finished now. I'm not a comedian. I'm just a civilian. I'm just gonna go at these fucking bitches. So I was like, you look like the fat girl from Baby Reindeer. You look like Ursula from Little Mermaid. Don't you heckle
Oh,
me with your mouth full, you fat bitch. It's not my fault the kitchen's closed. Just telling them for a minute. And then dropped the mic and was like, see you later. And I left with this hot girl that I met on the fucking crawl. You know what I mean? I was like, sick. And then everybody, when I was leaving, was like, oh, sorry about them. They were nightmares. Like, I still stood and handed out my stickers. Like, everybody else loved it. And then I woke up the next day and they were like, oh, they got 7 complaints from 60 people. That's 10% of the crowd hated me. And it was just all this one group. And the guy telling me, he's like, did you call somebody a baby reindeer? I'm just denying all of it. I'm like, nah, it wasn't me. Nah, it wasn't me. So they fired me, but they let me keep their calm. And then I just done other comedy clubs because I got those 3 hours back and I made even more money. So I was like, thank you, you fat bitches. Appreciate it. So it was fucking, you know what I mean? That's the example of how well woke it is. I gave them a reason to complain at the end, but they wanted to complain anyway. They came to the show wanting to fucking complain. I made one joke about the Stella being called a wife beater, and that was fucking it. Like I'm roasting a beer. I can't roast a beer anymore. What the fuck? So Melbourne is just woke. But I mean, who cares? I didn't give a shit. So
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, fuck them. They probably need it anyway.
that answers your question.
Definitely. But no, I mean the mothership,
No, it doesn't
and
matter. Like
I
it's the
hear so
worst
many
thing.
good
Who
things
cares if
about
you complain? It's
Austin.
not like if you haven't done anything real bad, it doesn't matter. And plus, like in comedy, the worst thing that can happen is you bomb. So, let me see if I can go in the house. Might be better if I get something one there.
What is the mothership is wonderful as everyone says it is? Is it no? So what's the word for it? What's the experience like being in the mothership? I hear only I hear it's Yeah, I hear it's only hear good things about it.
I mean, it's like, I mean, it's a sick comedy club. It's a good comedy club. Like, I remember I was in the green room of the mothership in March. Some guy there was like, who worked there was like, what's it like being in the best comedy club in the world? I stood up, looked around, and was like, is this Hot Water Comedy Club, is it? And he was like, what? I was like, it doesn't matter. Like, it's a sick club. It is. It's the best club in America. I love it, mate. It's treated me amazing. But I mean, it's still only a 220 and a 120. Like, it's not like I've got a better comedy club at home, like a bigger comedy club at home, but I just liked it because there's so many funny acts on. I mean, there's so many not funny acts on, but that's the same for every comedy club, obviously. But like, funny's actually funny there. So like, you get past that one gig, then you do another one. You get past, then you get past another gig, and then you pass for the whole. You know what I mean? So like,
Oh yeah, yeah,
funny's
yeah,
funny
yeah.
there, how it should be, as opposed to who can send the best email, who's got the big followers, all that sort of shit.
I I heard from a comic from Sweden that in Austin he was expecting big things over there, but he said he was disappointed. He was saying that he saw a lot of comics there trying to. He didn't get in the mothership, but he got in a lot of other big clubs. He said these comics that were doing Chappelle, doing Patrice O'Neill impressions, and they'll do a lot of work, but they wouldn't get to the joke. And like quite a few of them were bombed, and he got bumped into one show. The headliner came on, but like everyone was bombing, and like he was like, "Put me on, man. They need a good comedian. Save the show." But that's what he said. He told me from his experience.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, it depends. I mean, I was doing so many shows that I was just bouncing around. I didn't even have time to watch the full
Fair
show.
enough.
So probably people were bombing. Like I was bombing some. You know what I mean? I'd walk in, a guy's bombing. Like, you know what I mean? They're Americans. Like, they're not like, some of them are funny, some of them aren't. It's the same as back home, really. Like there's so many, like Austin, yeah, it's a great scene, but there's more shit comics than good comics because everybody just done comedy for 6 months. They live in their car. They're like, oh, I'm going to meet Joe Rogan and be famous. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's the same as London. Like London attracts shit comics, New York, Austin. Like the good scenes attract a lot of comics and the quantity over quality in it, really.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
What? And if you're, what's your idea of like a comic that is the bollocks? If there's a like what is your idea of a comic that is the bollocks? What criteria do they need to have apart from being just funny?
I mean, for me, like, I mean, I'd want you to be a good hang as well. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many funny comics that like you can't even have a conversation with them off stage. You know what I mean? They're just too fucking weird or whatever the fuck. But on stage, they're a killer. But then they're like socially awkward, which you know what I mean? Each to their own. I'm not asked. But if you're talking to me, an ideal comedian, I want it to be a crushing on stage and a crushing in the green room. You know what I mean? Like me, I want like to be the same guy on and off stage. That's what I want. Like that's how that's what I think the funniest people in the world are actually doing their own voice. You know what I mean?
They're not trying to be someone else. They're not trying to be Russell Howard. They're not trying to be.
Exactly.
Do you get that in Liverpool where some of them try and be like Paul Smith or they try and be like Adam? No, not in Liverpool, but in the Northwest, you get anyone saying "you late, mate" or anything like that. Like they try and do what he does.
I mean, like we all talk the same anyway. You know what I mean? It's not like people think that Paul Smith invented crowd work. You know what I mean? It's like crowd work's been around forever. Like even Paul says that. Paul's like, I didn't invent. Where are you from? What do you do? You know what I mean? He just made it virally. Like he just got on early. Like his videos were, he just fucking got massive on Facebook. Like perfect timing. Like he was hilarious anyway. But I mean, like I was doing crowd work when I started. I saw him and I was like, oh fuck, you can just do all crowd work. But I mean, like we've been on the same lineups. It's different styles. You know what I mean?
Okay. Have you know what would you say from observing different scenes is the style like in terms of London, in terms of like up north or in America, in the places you've seen and Australia? Do they have a distinct style, or you're just like Marvin? You're talking low nods. Funny is funny. It is what it is.
I mean, like obviously in the UK we do more crowd work. Like every MC normally does a bit of crowd work. You know what I mean and stuff like that. In the so like a host and a MC and a compere is more prevalent in the UK. In America, they don't really have hosts. Like they just bring each other on. And if you do have a host, it's not even a good at. Normally, it's the guy doing the door at the comedy club. They just let him go up there for like 5, 7 minutes, and then he brings him on. So like the host, that's the main difference is like the host and the headliner. Really, like it's a lot more showcases out there. They don't do any breaks. Ours is like, I guess, the standard way of doing comedy. I would say. Well, that's just the way I was raised with the two breaks, the headliner, the MC, and stuff. They just do like a straight showcase.
When they do the bit of the like serving of food and drinks, what do you, how do you, what's your way of getting through that? Because I've seen that in a few of them. I even saw that in the Empire, and like, do you is that do you find that a bit of a distraction? Because in the UK they don't
Uh,
do that, but I know in America they do that a lot.
I mean, most of the big comedy clubs, it's like a smooth ship. You know what I mean? Like you don't even realize they're there. Like sometimes you can press a button, they just appear there, or sometimes there's QR codes, you can do it like that and stuff. But you just kind of get used to it, I guess. You know what I mean? Like I've done gigs where it's like fucking, there's more mayhem going on than somebody ordering a fucking beer. So it's like it's chill. It's chill. You just don't talk to that person when they're
Okay,
fucking ordering.
that's
That's
cool.
easy.
What do I want to ask? Who- So from being gigging across different parts of the world and being around people, who would you say that are comics that you gigged with that are the creme de la creme in terms of off stage and on stage, and that are really original voices for different reasons?
That's a tough question. Now, like obviously, most of them got to be my friends, but I think I'm funnier than everybody. Like you got to if you do comedy, you know what I mean. Like I obviously think of people are funny, but I mean, I think I'm the funniest. Like I'm in my top five of all time. Like it's fucking Dave Chappelle, Rory Scovel, Todd Barry, then me. You know what I mean? Like because nobody makes me laugh like me. Like I know my sense of humor. So, but I would say Artie Matty, that's one of my good mates. He's killing it in Austin now. That's the reason I started going over there. Glad to stay with him. Him and James McCann are killing it there. James is an Australian lad. Artie's like a Estonian guy. Um, that's like opened the doors for me and some of our other mates. They're like in terms of like in Austin, I reckon they're the best. You know what I mean? Because obviously Rogan and Hinchcliffe are on stage, they're killing, but I'm at the back of the room being like, I don't get it. You know what I mean? So like in terms of like actual pound for pound, they're great. Um, Sam Campbell's probably the funniest guy in Australia, even though he lives in London now. Um, there's so many examples. Here, you know what I mean? Paul Smith is hilarious. Like Phil Chapman's absolutely fucking hilarious. Um, fuck knows. I've probably got an example for every fucking city,
No
to be
worries.
honest. But like me, Audie Matty, and James McCann, that's the
With
top three.
all the things that have happened in comedy, what's been the most weirdest and horrifying experience you've had in comedy that has taught you the most?
The weirdest, the most. Never do a Lebanese wedding. That's what I never do a wedding. That's the one thing I've learned. Never do a fucking wedding, especially when you don't know what a Lebanese is.
Oh!
Oh, it's fucking tough. It was my friend's barber. He'd convinced his barber to get it to let us do sets at his wedding, and half of them didn't speak English. You know what I mean? Nobody knew what the fuck I was saying. I had to like crowd work the kids' table because they were the only ones that could speak fucking English. And yeah, just never do a fucking Lebanese wedding. That's my advice to people.
Would you do it? Would you do Google Translate with the Lebanese? Like you tell the punchline, you get the phone out, and then you copy the punchline.
This was about 8 years ago. Google Translate didn't exist, so
Oh!
I had to do it like fucking look. I had to do it like Love Actually, just with the board, flipping it over, old school.
It would be funny. I did a comedy in French without knowing any French. I don't have the recording of it, but there was
That's
bits
so
where
funny.
people were laughing like mad, but there was bits where they were like, "What the hell's going on here?" And they
That's
actually
so
understood
funny. That
English. So I did the first bit in English, and then they understood. But then I tried doing it in French, and there was moments where I was, what do I say here? And they burst out laughing in a couple of bits.
that's
But they
hilarious.
didn't know how good I was going to be. It was in Leon, and they thought
Yeah.
they put me after the show just to see if I was going to be good or bad.
That
It was the
show. Well, I mean, isn't that
yeah,
headline? Aren't you headline at
yeah.
that point?
Yeah, I don't know
Right.
why they did that. They should have put me in the middle because they don't know how good I'm going to be, and at least they would have like someone that would save the show. But they put me on afterwards, And
That's
then
so
there
funny.
was a lady that in French that said, "I just want you to know that it was quite awkward."
That's
In
hilarious.
English.
You're like, all right, the show's over now. It's like a make-a-wish. Now we're bringing this kid out. We're fucking trampling this kid out. That's so funny.
It was exactly that. I really wish I could have got the recording of it, but I was I was nervous before and like saying, "What the fuck am I doing?" But
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, no,
exactly.
it was interesting. But I do want to try that a bit. There are a few like comedians and clowns that doing it without any words. Like there's some
Yeah,
woman
yeah,
called
yeah.
Gardy Hooter who has a following without any words. And then there's this guy called the Red Bastard who does all sorts of strange things who I want to see. Apparently, he entertains people and he just plays with himself. I'm not going to watch for that. I'm not that
That's
into that thing.
hilarious.
But
That's
then there's
hilarious.
who
What
else
about
is there?
Furioso? You know Furioso?
Oh, you've seen Piotr?
Yeah, of course. I mean, so that's the thing. Not many people know about Car Legacy. I've always wanted to be a clown. Obviously, I look like Pennywise. You know what I mean? I've been character for years,
Oh yes,
but
yes,
I
yes.
always wanted to go to Gaulier. I always wanted to go to Gaulier, like I still do. But I had a thing about the fucking what was his name, the guy Gaulier. He was like, you know what I mean? He breaks people down. I probably couldn't go now because he says, "Oh, you're not funny," and I'm like, "Well, I am." You know what I mean? I should have went when I started comedy when I wasn't funny. Now I'd be like, "Fuck you, you French faggot." I'm hilarious. You know what I mean? It's like it'd be hard to break me now because I'm fucking already dead inside. So I don't have to be wasted on me. But I'd like to go for a week or 2 weeks to get some skills. Like a lot of my friends, Vigo, Jack Zucker, and all that, I've came through there, and I think it's just another element. Like when I go to comedy festivals and stuff, I don't watch any shows. I watch maybe one or two clowning shows, something completely different from stand up. But I think that's so impressive. If you can make a crowd laugh and you're not even saying anything, like that's the biggest crush in the world, is it not?
Uh, it's also yeah, it's also more or that what they say about his insults being harsh. I don't agree with it at all. I think some of them are from very privileged and posh backgrounds, so they've not really had enough people
Ah,
tell
okay.
them that they're useless
Yeah.
piece of shit, or
No, but I
like
don't mind
people
that.
really.
I want him to break me, but I feel like he just won't be able to break me now. Like I'm too confident. I know I'm too funny. You know what I mean?
No, no,
Like,
no, no, no. If you've been through a rough upbringing, or if you've been through a tough upbringing, or if you've had a lot of people try and say things to break you down, or like you get cussed a lot, you would wipe it off like it's nothing. It wouldn't break you
yeah,
at all, mate.
exactly. Yeah, but I don't want
It's
that. I
just
thought you meant to be broken down, don't you? That's
no,
how
no,
you
no,
get
no, no.
better.
No, it's just like pub insults. If you're going drinking
Oh,
with your mates in a pub and they're making fun of you, it's
oh, it's
just,
just
and
like
it's
you're getting
nothing worse.
heckled. Oh,
It's
yeah.
nothing worse than what you've had in a comedy club. But for some of
Yeah,
them, they've
fair.
not really had that where they've been told that they're useless. But what they do is they give you a lot of exercises, like you will sit in a chair and that's the game. And you have to try and find a way of making that funny. Like Vigo Veni just makes it funny out of doing a dance. But they'll put you in ridiculous costumes and you have to work with someone else to make that funny. And they teach you some things like fixed point and all of that. But mostly it's to get out of your head, like improv. That's what it is.
So,
Working with
so,
nothing.
would it be worth it? Did you do like a month course, a 2 week course, anything like that?
Uh, I don't know. I think he's not teaching there anymore. He's stopped. He's tired. But
Yeah,
you're
but somebody
better off
else is
like
teaching for
listening.
him, no?
Yeah, he does the following same principle. I'll be honest. I think there's someone in the London circuit who got Julie and Vigo Venn to teach him about clowning and different things. I think honestly, if you got one-to-one teaching with someone who's been to that school or with one of the teachers from there, you would learn a lot more from doing the course. Because it's like when you do a martial arts class, they have to teach 30 odd people, but you gain a lot more from one-to-one tuition. The only thing
Oh,
about
true,
it is
yeah.
it just takes out your head. That's it. That's the
Yeah.
main thing about it. And knowing someone like you as well, if you did go there, you probably have 100 ladies in bed. But that's they're the benefits you get out of there. Get you more out there. Said being fun and nothing, but seeing as what you said before, some of them have a bit of fun, but you'll probably have fun with 40 or 50 of them. So that's the benefits for you.
Yeah, that's it. Well, we'd all be in it together, you know what I mean? And then, yeah, it's like, you can't really be
I
that
mean,
sad
and
if you go home and you got two French girls in your bed. You're like, I guess I'm all right.
no, you probably have Australian, English, or American, and they're probably maybe the odd Spanish, but they're probably and they're a lot hotter than a lot of female stand-ups. That's the truth. That's what you'll get.
No, I always used to say, I always used to tell my friends, I'd be like, go to a clown show because the loophole is they're probably going to get the tits out. Like if you go to a guy, one, he's getting his dick out, obviously. But if you go to a girl clowning show, they're getting the tits out. That's a
Oh yeah,
creepy
yeah.
loophole for the fans.
They have trouble keeping their clothes on, a lot of Gaulier clowns, but
Yeah,
it is
yeah,
what it
yeah,
is.
yeah,
But yeah, it is what it is. There's, but they're all theatre a lot as well. I mean, there's a lot of there's a guy called Matteo Destro who teaches you a lot about masks and being more physical, but there's a lot behind it. Like the American clowns as well. There's a lot more to it than that particular
yeah.
clowning. Um,
I'll
but
look
they'll
into
teach
it
you the
again,
gag.
actually.
There's some American clowns as well, where they teach you all these different gags, like the pie gag and like certain little.
Really,
I
with the
thought,
water, with the water and the flower. That's old
yeah,
school. I don't want to do proper clowning. I don't want the shoes and that. I just want to be the physical. You know what I mean?
but they will teach you a few things. There's a couple of games as well where they one of the funny games that they have is they'll get someone uh have you with Mock the Week, they sometimes do an exercise where what would Andy Murray think, and you got someone making fun of them. So what they'll do is you get someone who's German or Italian speaking in their language, and then you would pretend copy what they say without knowing that language, and you do a stupid movement with it. And then there'll be another one where someone start walking, doing some ridiculous act, and then you have other people take the piss out of them from behind. So I don't know if you started doing jumping jacks, you'd have someone that would take the piss out of you,
Okay.
your movements, and make fun of you.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Oh, so
but
like roasting. Yeah, this is good. This is actually you've relit the fucking light of love for this clowning thing. I might have to try and do a little fucking 2 weeks course. I just think it'll be funny. Just everybody seeing that on Instagram. You know, Kyle's and Gaulier. They'd be like, "What the fuck?" And then it would make me funnier, obviously. You know what I mean?
but it's not like the magical thing that people say about it. But one thing, what's another thing about the course?
I could get some. I'd get some tips out of it or something. You know what I mean? It's a different element in
Yeah,
my
yeah,
arsenal.
yeah. Physical things, yeah.
Yeah.
What's another thing out of it that's interesting? You'll get some females. Some of them are good cooks. I
This is. Did you go to Gaulier in the 1950s? What the fuck?
Some of them cook for you, and they're really good cooks. But what's
I
another
love
thing
that.
about? Um, so there's that. There's this. There, you won't learn any French. That's the thing about it. But they're not as interesting as comedians. So they're more of a certain set. That's the one thing that I would say. Comedians, you got all sorts, as you said, weirdos, autistics, IBS,
Yeah.
ex-criminals, ex-cons, I don't know, all sorts. Them,
Yeah.
probably, dad's is a banker, has £500,000. Listen here, son. You go and entertain yourself for like a whole year. Here's £2,000.
Exactly.
Oh,
There
you
you
run
go.
out of money? Here we go. But
Well, I'm trying to get that American visa, so fucking I might meet a fucking my future ex-wife. Who knows?
yeah, why? Yeah, do that. What do they have a thing for the posh English for the Scouse accent as much as they do for the posh sounding one?
They must do. You know what I mean? I'll just tell them. They'll be like, "I love Irish. I guess I'm Irish. Whatever."
Are you going to make some lie out of saying yes? I am an Earl of Britain. If America goes, oh my God, are you from Britain? Like, where does that accent
Yeah,
come from?
yeah,
And you'll be like,
yeah.
listen,
The patron saint of salt and pepper chips.
and you're going to be like, right, if you do me for one night, I got a British passport. You give me your American visa. Deal.
Exactly. There you go. Perfect.
Now, for anyone that's listening right now, what is your advice in terms of comedy of dealing like with the nonsense of it and like in terms of other things?
With the comedy, you said in general.
Yeah.
Uh, I mean, first of all, just don't take it fucking seriously. You know what I mean? I take it seriously in terms of like I get to shows on time. I do the admin. You know what I mean? I be funny on stage. I'm a professional. Well, at the end of the day, what we do is a joke. You know what I mean? You can't take it too seriously. Like every day, I play basketball or golf of a day, and then I gig of a night. You know what I mean? With a few podcasts here and there. It's like our job's fun, so fucking act like it's fun. Make it fun. You know what I mean? It's like that doesn't mean you have to get drunk every night with your mates and all that. But I mean, like I like the green room hangs. I like being on stage. I like being off stage. I like roasting my friends for bombing. I like getting roasted from my friends for bombing. I like them coming up to me being like, "Oh, you should have thought of this riff." make that a real, like, when I'm emceeing, I like the elements of lighting people, organising the lineup. Like, you can enjoy it, but don't take it too fucking seriously. You know what I mean? It's comedy. Like, I hate comedians where they have the algorithm. But like, this plus this equals funny. It's like, just work on your funny bones. That's why I preach stage time. The- Like, obviously, you can write down stuff and rehearse it and say it on stage. It's funny. But if you go on stage with nothing, then you're actually using your funny muscle. You're working on your funny bones, which is a muscle. You know what I mean? Like anything else. So, like, don't take it too seriously and just fucking enjoy it. Like, have fun. It's comedy at the end of the day. The worst thing that can happen in comedy is you bomb. And if you don't care about bombing, then you're fearless. You know what I mean?
How much would you say is being funny is having character off stage or having an interesting personality off stage and bring it on
I mean, I
stage?
don't know about necessarily interesting. You know what I mean? It's like, I just, like, my whole personality is sports, really. Like, it's basketball and football and comedy. That's it. Like, so it's like, I'm not really that interesting, I guess. You know what I mean? But like, but you got to do other stuff. You can't just do comedy. Like, obviously, it's good to get on stage every night, and that's what you should do. But during the day, hang out with your friends, fucking go to the movies. Like, you need to do other stuff so you can talk about it on stage. Like, you need these references. Like, if somebody's a golfer, oh, boom, I played golf last week. How did you play? I was fucking shocking. Whatever. You know what I mean? um, all that sort of stuff. Like, oh, you got to travel for comedy makes you better as well. Just fucking, like, you know what I mean? If you're in a comedy scene, like, I was in Thailand where people can't understand what I was saying, and I'm doing well there. I come back to Liverpool, everybody knows what I'm saying. I'm fucking murdering because it's easy now. You know what I mean? In comparison. So, like, traveling makes you better. It opens up your mind more. You'd have more cultural references if you crowd working people. Oh, really, from Belgium? Oh, fuck, I wasn't in Belgium, but I was right next to it. Or so I know something about Belgium. Like, I'm really stumped now because I've travelled so much. Like,
Oh, yeah. No, I found it. Well, I don't not the traveling, but I found it the podcast because I'm talking to a lot of people from around the world. I find it
perfect.
easy to have conversations with people.
Exactly. That's all it is. Like, we've never met, you know what I mean? Like, we've spoke online, but it's like, you're a comedian, I'm a comedian. We know how to talk each other in comedian terms. It's like, oh, sick, nice. And then as soon as you fucking started, you were like, LeBron James's fucking brother. And I was like, let's go. The man's done his research. That's all he needs to know. I fucking love LeBron James. He is my Gaulier. He's my goat.
If
And
you met him,
LeBron actually sounds like a French guy as well, to be honest. He sounds like a French
yeah,
baker. LeBron.
well, but he doesn't send funny text to women in the school. Oh, for fuck's sake, what have I done now? Shit. Fine. I'll tell you this. He apparently, from some of the girls in the school, he sent some dodgy text to a few of them.
Oh,
Sorry. Oh, God, I
I've
shouldn't have
heard,
said that.
I've heard that as well. To be honest, yeah,
Oh, God, I can't believe I said that. Okay, well, it's fine.
yeah. No,
That's what I've heard.
I forgot about that. I've heard that. Well, he's an old French guy. What do you expect? Nobody can be surprised, can they? Like,
Yeah, yeah. I don't know how he does it. He goes, "Bonjour, señorita." No, that's bloody Spanish. Madame,
well, he's a clown, so maybe he's doing like a Spanish French clown. But we don't know how the mind of a clown works. Maybe he was just doing a character as a rapist. We don't know.
oh, maybe. Oh God. Uh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. Anyway, I've got a terrible way to end. Have you got one more question? Because I've got to go play golf, but we can't end on that.
No, the only thing that it needs to end on is like, how do people find out about you?
Uh, Literally, LeBron James of comedy on Instagram. I don't have Twitter. I don't have TikTok. Instagram is where I do all my posting. Like, my Instagram, watch my videos, but watch my Instagram stories. That's how you get to know the real me because they never stop. If my Instagram story stops, I'm dead. Call for help. I'm dead. All right. So, like, you can just watch my life. I travel a lot. People enjoy it. Just watching me get fucked up in different cities and stuff like that. I've got a big show coming up on the 28th of June at Liverpool Hot Water Comedy Club, Comedy Striptease. And then I'm doing my solo, which you should come to actually, on the 12th of July in London at that Comedy Freaks if you're
Oh,
around.
okay, sure. I'll pop
Yeah.
by. Free
I mean,
ticket, please. No,
not saying
joking.
to come to for bums on seats, but I mean, we'll have a beer afterwards. You know what I mean? We can meet properly and stuff.
No worries.
And you
Free
can
ticket.
take
No,
if you want to take notes, learn how to riff. You might as well. You know what I mean? But I'm not saying you'd have to.
But shall I dress up as Zora? I'm joking.
Please, please. That's my plants in the crowd. Yeah, please. That's
Right,
so funny.
guys. I hope you've enjoyed, Carl. I'll see you guys at the next episode. We're going to talk to the roast battle champion Shalaka Kurup, and I'll see you guys soon.
Peace.
Right.